Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. It is I, Dalton Burdett, with the amazing Nicholas Aregio. Nick, how are you, my friend?
I am blocky. I
Of
don't know.
course, of
I
course, you're
don't I
hitting
don't know
me.
the Minecraft lingo
You're
enough.
hitting me with stuff. Guys, in case you didn't know from the thumbnail you saw in the video you clicked on and the reference Nick made, we are here to talk about a Minecraft movie in theaters now, based, of course, off of the major, huge video game Minecraft. Nick, hit us with the information, but the director and the synopsis, will you?
Crafty. I'm feeling crafty. It was right there.
It was right there. You almost
It
had it.
was right there. All right, let's see. A Minecraft movie follows four misfits who are suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master this world while embarking on a quest with an unexpected expert crafter. This, of course, being based off of the Minecraft video game. It is directed by Jared Hess, whose credits include Nacho Libre as well as Napoleon Dynamite. It stars Jason Momoa, Jack Black as Steve, Sebastian Hansen, Emma Myers, Danielle Brooks, and Jennifer Coolidge. It has a 6.1 out of 10 currently on IMDb. It is rotten with 49% on Rotten Tomatoes with an 83% audience score, and it is sitting at a 2.9 average on Letterboxd. It is 76 degrees Fahrenheit here in Orlando.
Jesus Christ.
And it is 9:26 p.m. as we are recording this.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was excellent. I need you to learn the Spanish on the Disney. The monorail doors are closing, and I need you to hit
Oh.
that in there every single
Manos,
time.
brazos, pies y piernas. That's
There
probably
it is.
wrong, but that's what it sounds like in my head.
There you go. Perfect. But guys, let's kind of dive into our thoughts about the movie. Before I give mine, I want to start off by saying this is coming from the perspective of somebody who's never played the game. I've never played Minecraft. Obviously, I'm familiar with it. Most of my friends love it. I've sat and watched people play for countless hours, but I've never played. It's not. I don't have like skin in the game, if you will. I'm not a huge fan. I was coming at
And
it from
everyone just clicked away.
that right. I'm coming at it from that perspective. With that being said, I think this movie's horrible. And I'm not trying to be too harsh. I'm not trying, anyone who watches this channel knows I try to find the good in everything. And there's some fun to be had here. There's some fun to be had. However, overall, and just in my opinion, huge mess of a film. I don't think any of the screenplay works. I think both on a storytelling level and a dialogue level, the storytelling is almost completely irrelevant to the movie. The way that it goes from story point to story point feels very much like and then this happens, and then this happens, and this happens. There's no cohesiveness. There's no, there's nothing propelling the story really other than arbitrary reasons that are set up at the beginning through an incredibly long exposition narration from Jack Black, who, by the way, I love Jack Black. School of Rock was one of my all-time favorite movies. Did not belong in this movie at all. I did not like the Jack Blackisms of the movie, and I know he's doing exactly what he's being hired to do. It's not really on him, but just did not fit. If I didn't pay and was with a bunch of friends, I might have walked out of this movie in the first half hour. I was very not digging it, but I never really walk out of films. I don't think I've ever walked out of one intentionally because I thought it was bad. It was only for emergencies. So I was like, let's stick it out. Maybe it'll pick up and get better towards the end. It didn't. I think that most of the performances, they do what they can, but they're not really given anything to do. Some positives. I think most of the CGI works. Now, the green screen stuff is so evident and clear and obvious. It was so lazily put together, sloshily made. Then there are sequences that are full CG where you're like, oh, probably this is where a lot of the budget went, or probably even a second unit team probably did this. I don't want to put false stuff out there, but there are bits of the movie that were clearly like, oh, this was made one way and this was made an entirely separate way. I thought is it the Netherworld or the Netherland underneath? I thought that looked interesting, and I thought the design of the lead villain and the main performance I liked was the local performance of the villain. I thought that was a very good vocal performance. Other than
Rachel
that,
House from a bunch of Taika Waititi movies,
yes,
as she's the Moana's grandmother.
Yes.
Mhm.
Other than that, just to be completely honest, everything else about the movie fell flat for me. I really didn't like anything else. And Jason Momoa has some funny moments. Again, there's some fun to be had. There's some laughs. Okay, you know what? There is one joke involving a teacher when he gives a monologue at the beginning of class that I legitimately laughed incredibly hard at. And I'm like, that was really funny and really well written. Everything else just fell flat. It almost felt like AI written. Like it was very everything I don't like seeing in movies, particularly big studio movies. This movie has it. Was not a fan of a Minecraft movie, but I want to say that with the caveat of there were people in this theater who were eating that shit up. They loved it. And I think that's wonderful. I am so glad there are going to be people who love this movie. It's going to make a shit ton of money. It's going to make so much money. Good. I'm so happy that Minecraft fans have this movie, that some people are enjoying it. Great. Wonderful. Go enjoy it. You go support this movie you love. Help it make money. I love seeing movies succeed, even if I don't like them. However, me personally, 1 star. Nicholas, your thoughts?
I mean, I don't want to say I was disappointed by it because it was about where I expected it to be, if not maybe a little bit better. I mean, we all saw the trailers, so it's just sort of I'll give my thoughts on it, and then that's sort of what I want to get into the a deeper discussion with you about, But I mean, I agree. I think it's a very MacGuffin based movie of moving from point A to point B. It's like we need to do this, and Jack Black's there like, what you need is this. And he go, how do we get that? And he goes, well, we have to go do this. But first we have to stop at my chicken lava shop. And I'm gonna sing a song. I think that Steve, I don't know what kind of characterization we expected from a Steve. In the games, you are Steve. It's not really like the personality is what you give them. So I think Jack Black was mostly just casting a name at that point, as with Jason Momoa. I think they both give very good comedic performances. I thought for most part, a good chunk of the comedy I thought I thoroughly enjoyed. It was a lot of this weird sort of humor which you would expect from like a Nacho Libre, especially citing the teacher's monologue. That felt like something out
Mm-hmm.
of Napoleon Dynamite, out of Nacho Libre, and there were some references to those movies throughout, which I did end up enjoying. I thought the CGI on a whole for me worked for the most part. There's the wing gliding scene in the trailer. I thought that looked really rough. But
Mm.
on a whole, I thought the way that they were interacting with the characters and the environment, I was a fan of. I think the overall narration and story, the plot were not great. But for me, I thought that I found some entertainment value in it, which I think is sort of where I'm at with it, in that I was expecting to go in not entertained, and any entertainment I thought would derive from the ironic entertainment, such as like a Madam Web scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there were parts of that was that where you're just watching it, you're like, I'm watching a Minecraft movie. But then I thought there were parts that I was thoroughly entertained by. I thought the villain design and the villain vocal performance, like you said, were great. I enjoyed a lot of the gags. I thought the whole storyline of Jennifer Coolidge falling in love with a villager, which we get little teases of in the trailer, I thought
That was
that
funny.
bit
I'll
that
give
bit
you
worked
that.
for
That was
me
funny.
the whole movie. I really did enjoy that. Um, so I mean, and again, I think the audience we had was really good. I think they were enjoying it. I
A
think
lot
it
of
was
people loved it.
but I think it was also a mix of people ironically enjoying it, but still having a good time. And to me, I think that what that provided me was a great communal movie going experience, because like when we watched Madam Web, that theater was silent.
Yeah,
Like everyone was just sort of slodging through that, versus this was a movie I think people were having fun with and entertained with. It was definitely a lot of Minecraft fans. Typically we go on Thursdays, we tend to see a lot of the same people. The people that go to the movies on opening days, I would say a lot of them, these were just Minecraft fans, people who wanted to see the movie, who were excited for it, whether for the good or the bad. And so I think in terms of at a great theatrical time, I was able to have fun with the movie, and for that, I sparked enjoyment from it.
what would you say your star rating is? It's tough. It's a tough one. I know.
I'd have to look. I would honestly, like, I want to say maybe 2. I
Okay.
think I would go. I was looking at my 2.5s earlier, and like I think I gave Companion 2.5, and I think Minecraft is there, if not below it, and I don't, maybe I'll go 2.5, but
Mhm.
I 2 feels right to me just
Okay.
for that entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah. For anyone who's watched us for any period of time, they know that like I've recently like given out stars just to kind of be consistent with what we do on the show, but that I personally grade movies. Like I like to give grades because I do like a plus minus system. It allows for a lot more nuance for like how you feel about a movie. This movie easily got an F. It's the first F of 2025. I think it's worse than any movie I saw last year as well. Maybe that's probably not true because Madam Web was pretty awful, and so was Craven. So it's tough to say.
I mean, I
But
think if we're talking newer releases, I think I think I enjoyed it more than the live action Snow White. I think I had a better. Well, I think maybe I think on a lot of technical fronts, right? Snow White might be better. I think my enjoyment aspect was higher with this,
mhm,
and I would say the same with Working Man.
yeah,
If we're going with sort of two more
hard,
recent things.
hard disagree on Snow White. Just because, shoot me, I like the movie. I'm one of the
Hmm.
6 people who enjoyed it. But Working Man, I'm kind of with you. Working Man was just also had a factor of just huge disappointment for me because I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was. But
Well, that
yeah.
and that sort of stems into the conversation, right? Which is, what were you like? You saw all the trailers for Minecraft.
Mhm.
What were you expecting? Because I think for me, I was just sort of like I was already anticipating the movie's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Like, were
Right.
you hoping that there were just bad trailers? Like, were you hoping out that maybe there was something they were hiding or something? Because like I feel like the way to enjoy it maybe more is just that it had kind of worn you down to a certain point.
I think for me, if I expect a movie to be bad and the movie is bad, it doesn't get a pass for being bad. It's still bad.
Mhm.
Like, disappointment can affect a movie's viewing on your first viewing sometimes. Maybe, it evens out or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what I love doing is going into a movie thinking it's going to be garbage and it's not. Or
Mhm.
taking a concept that I think is dumb, which Minecraft actually is a very cool concept. Like, the lore itself is very interesting and very cool. An example I'll always go to, because something I see a lot on the internet, a lot online, is people telling me, dude, I fucking hate this. People telling me, like, it's a movie made for kids. What did you expect? Oh, you mean like the fucking Lion King? You mean like some of the greatest movies ever made? You mean like the Lego movie? And that's the one I
Spider
always
Verse.
go to. Spider-Verse? Lego movie is the one I always go to. That movie should have never been greenlit. It's an amazing animated film. It's
Well, I'm not.
creatively made. It had a vision, and I'm not saying it has to be that good, right? I'm just saying don't give me, and you didn't do this. I'm just saying in general, don't give me, oh, it's a movie for kids. What did you expect? Well, I've seen movies for kids and they're really fucking good. This one is not. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
good movie.
Well, I'm
And
not
so
saying that it was made for kids because I do
I
think
know,
kids
I know, I know you're not
see the
saying that. Yeah.
content there. Yeah.
hmm
I
Yeah.
just think that like uh, it was one of those things like when Lego Movie was announced, right? It was sort of like the what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
But then you watch the first trailer and I was on board from trailer 1. I was never on board with Minecraft from trailer 1. Like
Right.
Lego came out, I was like, "Oh, I'm pleasantly surprised by this trailer. I'm interested in seeing this movie." Minecraft was exactly what I expected it to be. So I think I was able to go in maybe with a more enjoyment aspect because of that, because I was just sort of like it was sort of written off in a way of like, like I'm just gonna go see this and have fun and hope it's not like a slog bad and it's a fun bad. And to me, this was a fun bad.
Like, I see that. To me, it was
But
not a
I'm
fun bad.
but there should be better movies. I think that there's a better
Yeah.
movie
I
even
think,
just with what they had. But I don't know. I don't know how to properly, I guess, word what
I've,
I want to say. But it's just like like the trailers didn't do anything to like
right.
dissuade me.
But like, if you're going to order a steak
Mhm.
and you look at a steak and you go, this steak looks bad. And for whatever reason, you still order the steak and you taste the steak and go, yep, it's bad. The steak is still bad. Like, it's still a bad steak. Like, just because it met your expectation of it being bad. And again, I'm not trying to like, affect your opinion or anything like that. Your opinion's your opinion. Because I've also watched movies that are bad, but I've had fun with them. To
Mhm.
me, in my opinion, this just wasn't that. Like,
Mhm.
I also didn't think the movie was going to be very good, but
Mhm.
it doesn't. To me, it doesn't give it license to just be what I thought it was going to be.
I think
I
where I
try
lie on
to.
it
I try to go into movies when I walk into a theater and kind of lay expectation at the door and be like, all right, let's see what they got for me. And I just didn't enjoy what they had for me.
That's valid. I just feel like it was one of those things, like, to me, if we're speaking on the movie terms, right? I went in expecting to be ironically entertained, like,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see the Minecraft movie. Let's all wear tuxes to Minions,
Right.
kind of vibe there. And the fact that the movie several times got genuine laughs out of me, and stuff that I thought was very funny and very creative, and that there was actually, screenwriting and performances aside, the work that went into the effects and everything, that was sort of stuff where I was like, all right, like, I was able to give it a little leeway because of that, because I was expecting not those big moments of entertainment or moments of being impressed by certain aspects of it. I thought it was all going to look like really bad green screen with wonky CGI and jokes that just don't land. So the fact that I thought the CGI looked good, I thought the way they interacted with the environment, for the most part, was very well done. And Jack Black and Jason Momoa, to me, are just entertaining people. Like, I don't think Fast X is a good movie, but I think Jason Momoa is fantastic in it because
Mm-hmm.
he knows what movie he's in, and I think it's a situation where people also knew what movie they were in that regard. So I think those things just work for me.
No, listen, and that's completely fair.
Mhm.
That's completely
I
fair.
mean,
It's a
we're
solid.
debating about a star though,
Yeah,
as
no, but
well.
it's a solid opinion. But like for me, for
Yeah.
example, the reason why I can't give those things a pass
Mhm.
in other situations like a Fast X is because when you get to the fun stuff, when you get to the final battles, yes, there are a couple moments in the film that are like, oh, this is fun. Like this part of the movie is fun. But then you're quickly lost when you're reminded that like I don't care about any of the situations. I'm not emotionally invested. There's nothing
Mhm.
keeping me excited. There's a big moment in the third act of the movie where a character you thought can't show up shows up to save the day, and I felt nothing. Like it's just
Mhm.
like this should have been a moment that should have made me like feel something or be like, yeah, and it's just like it wasn't there. Like there was nothing tying me to the cool stuff we were seeing, and the stuff we were seeing wasn't cool enough to justify me complimenting it for existing on its own. So
So do
that's
you think
kind of
it's a
where I'm at with it.
situation like where if it maybe had a stronger narrative or emotional through line, like a movie that I would relate it to that, I think has those moments is like The Flash, where I think a lot of it doesn't work. The storyline, the CGI is really bad pretty
Mm-hmm.
much the entire movie. But it does have cool moments with like Michael Keaton's Batman. But for me, I thought that the narrative through line of his dynamic and relationship with his
His
mother
mother, yes.
worked. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, do you think if it had a stronger thing, even like that, the same movie, but maybe just there was one narrative emotional thing, do you think that would bump it up to like a 2 or a 1.5?
Yes, Nicholas. If the movie had something that narratively worked, I would enjoy it more.
Well, just one thing.
Yes.
That's more the
Yeah. And to
uh-huh.
me, it's zero things.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's just something that like I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like
Mhm.
it. And again, I want to reemphasize there were tons of people who watched it who are having a great time, who loved it, and I think that's wonderful.
This
Please
movie's gonna
go.
make 1 billion, I
Oh,
think.
it's gonna make so much money. And I'm not saying that's bad. Support the things you love. Go watch the things you love. That's amazing. Enjoy it. Have fun. It just wasn't for me, and I didn't like it. That's where we're at. But guys, the
Yeah.
important thing is, what did you think of Minecraft? Did you get a chance to see it? We'd love to see your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.